Yo! Hi. Okay, people. Howdy. Beautiful day in sunny UK. Going through a heat wave in Europe right now, which is very cool. Very hot. So, yes. Today, I want to talk about something that's kind of not related to holistic health as much as it is other things, right? But the clue's in the title. Yeah. Puzzling people. Ugh. The labyrinth of the psychopath. Crazy. Crazy. Now, this one's important because it's a passion topic. It's a mastery of mine, unfortunately. Actually, I got given circumstances where within the family there is the situation of the psychopathy. So, you get put into these situations which make you a master of what we know, right? We choose these things, but it's important for me to talk a little bit about, because everyone has opinions, and I appreciate everyone's opinions on this subject, right? I learn from everybody when it comes to psychopathy, and everyone has opinions on why they come about, what they are, what they do, but there's a key difference that I want to keep drilling to people, because people can only meet me at the level of their knowledge of psychopathy, right? So you guys watching can only meet me at my level, and I'm not superior to you with my knowledge, I'm not. But what I'm trying to say is we can only meet and understand each other at a level. So allow me to express my knowledge based on this book, which is absolutely essential. First, let me plug this book. This is not, I don't make money out of doing this. Let me plug this book, because if there's one book that is the greatest ever written on genetic-born psychopathy, which is different, by the way, to damaged humans, which is called proto-psychopathy. I'm talking about genetic born. Yes, first we need to establish there are people born that are soulless, demons, whatever you want to call them. They are not human, they're born that way. But if there's one thing, if there's one book to understand, the greatest ever written, quite frankly, none will match up to this. None. No book ever written in the past, present, or the future will ever map. This is high praise I'm giving for it, but trust me, it's worth the money. To absolutely understand without having experienced, this is it. To experience one of them in your life, a genetic born psychopath, to come in, or to be in a family situation like mine. I didn't have a choice. I did because I chose it. Right? Whole family shit, you choose. But if you don't, this is the one. If you haven't got experience and you want to understand genetic born psychopathy, read this book, Puzzling People, The Labyrinth of the Psychopath by Thomas Sheridan. Costs like $15, £10, £11, £12. And this book will give you the insight onto what exactly I'm talking about, because this book connected the dots for me when I didn't understand my own brother. And I was questioning why he was... I was clueless, pretty much clueless about psychopathy. And then Martha Stout's book woke me up. It's a good one, but it's not the one I recommend. When I read this one in 2014, everything made sense. Every single little sentence in this is like gold dust, because I was reading it and thinking this connects with exactly what I'm experiencing with my brother in my real life. John, mate. Oh, I'm glad you're here, John, mate. Yes, Thomas Sheridan. He does a lot of interesting stuff. Now, I don't agree with him 100%. I wish he... my personal wish is he wish he went back, but what I do thank him a lot for is he has opened up the gateways, and he's in full understanding, which is really rare. He's basically a psychopath expert. Without having the badge of honor like a psychopath expert. And this book no one's ever written, not even the leading psychopath expert Robert Hare, who wrote the Psychopathy Checklist, the very famous man. He wrote a book about criminal psychopaths, didn't nail it quite as much as this book, because this book talks about psychopaths that are born, and also psychopaths on a basic level. So not psychopaths at the top, yeah, but psychopaths at an individual level that go into the gay communities, target people in relationships with low self-esteem, prop them up, then just leave them. People that they talk about people that go, the psychopaths and the individual go into care homes. They get to know the old woman, then they steal the money and steal, and kill. This is the one. This is the absolute one. And this, combined with my experiences, opened up a world of what I call silent mastery, because I've got no avenue right now apart from this platform, but I'm really into physical health to talk about it. However, I see my future, my mission, considering my brother was born one, and I'm a victim very much, and full of knowledge on it, unfortunately. I consider it my mission, a huge mission, to get my information out there. And part of that is my experiences, which I will share with people at some point in the future, and I have shared with people that I visit, and also reading the best psychopath books, and this being the absolute best. Absolute best. There's another one called We Need to Talk About Kevin, Lionel Shriver. It's a more mainstream book. You guys might have heard it because there's a film made out of it called We Need to Talk About Kevin, made in 2007 from the book, which was released in 2003. Which also very insightful. We Need to Talk About Kevin, a very interesting, true story, even though it's not really. I think it's meant to be true story. It's a work of non-fiction, non-true, but it actually is. There's a lot of truth in that. So if you've seen the film We Need to Talk About Kevin, that's a really good film to watch, and then read the book We Need to Talk About Kevin. Oh, by the way, here's a funny coincidence for you. My brother is a genetic born out the arse. I've known this ever since I read this, but I've been watching him as a youngster. Now all the dots connected. But I just said there was a book called We Need to Talk About Kevin. There's a film called We Need to Talk About Kevin. 1 second. I even got it here somewhere. Damn. I was going to show you the film. I've got the film and the book. I had the film over there. But get this. How about this for a coincidence? We Need to Talk About Kevin is a book about a psychopath who goes on a rampage at 14 years old, his 14th, 15th birthday, and kills all of the students in his gym. Why? Because it's fun, and he doesn't care, and he's remorseless. And his mum, in the whole entirety of the book shows the mum of giving birth to the baby, Kevin, and the mum. We follow the journey of the mum as he grows from 0 to 15, and the mum's questioning because the mum sees red flags in her son on his psychopathy. She recognises something's wrong. Psychopaths always give clues that there's something not right with about them, that they're not human. They always give clues to people that know them, their family and their friends. They always give clues. The question is, do we ignore the red flags? For example, my parents ignore the red flags because the red flags are too painful. But I haven't. I've chosen not to. Doesn't mean I'm better than them. I just made a point. Everyone has an opinion. Red flags. You can't not see red flags with psychopaths. You will see it in moments. They let their guard down. You will see something. There's nothing in the eyes. You will see behaviours that just don't correlate with humans. Anyway, in the book, the mother goes through the journey with the boy, and she's always wondering, why is he Kevin so my son so strange? Am I in the book? She's like, am I growing him up wrong? Am I doing something wrong with him? Am I being mean to him? Not giving him enough love? And the truth and the moral of the story of the book is he ends up at 15. Killing for fun because his life's boring and they need a thrill. I could talk forever about the subject. They need the empty vessels. They're bored, perennially bored psychopaths. We as humans can get happy from engaging in conversation with other people, with helping an old lady cross the street, with chatting with our friends. We can vibe and elevate our consciousness. A psychopath receives no benefit to engaging in emotional conversation unless it's manipulation and winning and a game. So there is no benefit. There is nothing there. There's just boredom. So that's why a lot of psychopaths end up in jail, committing murder, not even doing manipulative things. Actually, a lot of them don't end up in jail. People think that they're all in jail, these genetic-born psychopaths. No. They're out on the streets. They're playing games with people right now. They're making lots of money doing devious shit. They're ruining relationships. They're playing games. They got lovers on the side, fucking asexual fucking creatures, man. It's crazy. Yeah, Chon, mate. It's true, isn't it? 80%. I think that's a bit high. I think that I've met a lot in my life. I'm a target. As a low self-esteem person. I'm getting better, and I'm getting less targeted. But no, I wouldn't say 80%. But that's just my opinion. I might be wrong. I'm humble as well. Anyway, detracting a bit. In the book that We Need to Talk About Kevin, she questions whether her son is a psychopath and why, because she's had the love of the dad and the love of the mum and they've done well, so why? And the whole moral of the story of the book is he's born that way. Kevin is born that way. This is why I'm making this video. We have to understand, as shocking as this may seem, and this is shocking information to a lot of non-woke people, to my parents, to normal people. I'm telling you, from my experience, I know somebody that is born a psychopath. That means it wasn't by the environment, It wasn't anything. I mean, born out the mum's asshole, different. Born negative consciousness, born with... Okay, I wouldn't say negative consciousness, that's my opinion. What I mean is they were born with no ability for compassion and empathy. They can't hear the music. They can only hear the words. Yeah, there's no ability. You could say mentally damaged if you want to. That's an opinion too. But I personally think they come here for a reason. They are made by consciousness for a reason, to teach us a lesson, to make us evolve and see our shadows. Anyway, sidetracking slightly. We need to talk about Kevin. This book, to reiterate, you have to read this book, Puzzling People, if you want to understand genetic born psychopathy, which, by the way, everyone should fucking want to understand, because that's the reason why this society is so fucked up. Because these people have managed to get from an individual level, a low level, some of them have managed to get to the top level and inspire other people to do the same thing. So there's individual genetic born psychopathy is a huge problem for individuals and can damage us, but also at the top level, it's those individuals when they get together that fuck us up. Another one, we need to talk about Kevin, the book, and the film. Now, get this. In other coincidental news, have a guess what my brother's name is. Have a guess what my brother's name is. Yeah, my brother's called Kevin. Now, I don't believe in coincidence. I do believe in synchronicity. That's a very big one to me. Not just that my brother's the same fucking name as the book title about a boy who has the same condition as my... by the way, that's a big best-selling book too. That's why the film was made out of it. It's a big deal. That book was a big deal. It still was a fucking amazing book. It always will be. And the film too. Was a very famous director who did it. But my brother has the same name. That's a sign from the universe to tell me that, hey, you are not crazy, Harry. I knew I wasn't crazy a long time ago. And by the way, you guys can think I'm crazy. That's cool. It's my mission to elevate people to a level of understanding on psychopathy, which I have from my own experiences, unfortunately. Or fortunately. You know how we look at it, right? But what a coincidence, right? The same name. But even that, it's not just he's a genetic born psychopath. Just the shit that has been done, the damage within my family unit by one psychopath, my brother, to me and to my rest of my family, unreal. And my mission in the future will be to get this non-human justice for what he's done. And I mean criminal things, you know. I don't even mean emotional damage to me and my family, although that too, for sure, and being targeted and victim. I mean like criminal stuff. So that's my mission, and that's why I'm going to talk about it on this video. I don't mind people thinking I'm crazy, because I'm not. I've got a lot of knowledge, you know. I've seen a lot of things. Unfortunately, I know a lot about them, just from witnessing, not just one actually, a couple. Not many. I'm not saying I have loads, and they're always around. But when I see them, my brain is activated, and it's a large part due to connecting the dots from information like this book, which society never gave me. Society never gave me the information, therefore I was liable to think I was crazy. And you know, what do you mean that this you can't be doing this shit? My brother can't be doing this shit. Am I fucking crazy? Because there's no such... I didn't understand there was such thing as psychopaths. So I had to read really high quality information on psychopaths for me to figure out the light bulb moment. I was like, holy shit, yes, every single word in this book correlates with my own reference experiences, because I'm a smart guy, and I'm only smart because of the damage done to me. That's the truth. Aren't we all here? You guys watching, like, no offense to us, we are smart, but let's be honest here. The reason why we're smart is because we were damaged, and then we forced ourselves to grow and to unleash ourselves from the matrix and wake up. But that's created our level of intelligence. So I'm smart too, on psychopathy, on physical health and all that shit. It's only because I'm damaged, right? And what damaged me is these creatures, and that I chose. That I believe I've chosen. You choose your family, then I chose it. And I am grateful. I try to be as grateful as possible. Long term, it will prove a blessing. It's just hard at the moment. You want to cry and go, Okay, Kel, no. They're like them, but they're not. A narcissist is a human that's damaged. Damaged their self-esteem, right? A narcissist is someone that has damaged their confidence and self-esteem, so now they want to project their insecurities and damage onto other people by lack of self-love. Narcissists have a true lack of self-love, which means that they want to hurt other human beings and get that kind of horror because they think that's self-loving themselves, but there's no, there's difference. And also the point of this video was there's a difference between humans that act like humans that almost do the same things as psychopaths, but they're still human. They're just extremely damaged individuals. But the difference is, at some point in their lives, they'll be remorseful, or even if they're never remorseful, a human that's psychopathic, they have the capacity within their brain for remorse, whereas a psychopath has no capacity. That switch in the brain is literally switched off. There's a part of their brain for empathy and compassion. And by the way, guys, you have no idea what it's like to be like that. Imagine your entire world where you are... Imagine this. Everyone around you has this weird thing you're noticing called compassion, and they're joking and they're laughing together and they're having fun, and you're a genetic born psychopath, and you're coming into self-awareness at 6 years old. When is it we get self-awareness? 6, 7, 8. Anyway, you're 6, 7, 8. You're coming into awareness, and you're starting to notice at such a young age. I'm different to everybody else. Everyone else seems to be having fun, chatting with their brother and sister, or playing with animals, and or talking to their mum, and you at 6, 7, you're like, what's happening? I'm different. So from a very early age, psychopaths gain awareness, the genetic born ones, that they're different, and then comes the problems, and they realise they can't survive in society unless they fake what we've got. Because if psychopaths didn't fake what they got, we would fucking kill them, mate. Let's be honest here. We would fucking ostracise the fuck out of them. How can they survive at 6, 7 years old, and you know you're different, you've got no compassion, you can't hear the fucking music, man. People are playing music all around you, having fun, and you can't do that. You can't have fun like everybody else. You can't enjoy socialising. Can you imagine a world like that? It fucking sucks, man. It doesn't suck to them, because they're narcissistic in a way. They think they're awesome, but actually, when you think about it from a compassionate standpoint as a human, I think of it like, it sucks to be a fucking psychopath, trust me. Even though they can cause destruction, individual, societal level, don't get me wrong, they fucking can. It sucks, from my point of view, to be one. So at 6, 7, they're like, oh shit, I'm different from everyone. And therefore they have to live in a world now of mastering how to pretend to have emotions, to enjoy conversation, to enjoy giving value, to enjoy being happy, to enjoy learning, growing, to enjoy being creative, when there's nothing there. They have to enjoy it, and that's where the manipulation comes. It's just I'm not trying to sympathise with them at all. Just trying to tell you my angle, and a lot of my angle comes from this book. I just extrapolate on the knowledge from this book and my own reference experiences of what I've seen with my own eyes on them. They are crazy creatures, and quite frankly, I think it's a huge wake up call if you spend long enough around a genetic born psychopath. It's a huge wake-up call and a revelation, and that is an awakening process in of itself. Certainly that's what woke me up. No coincidence there, with a brother, and I had no choice. I can't run away. Yeah, this is family shit you can't run away from. So yeah, it's crazy. But the most important thing we have to remember as well is that there's an assumption that everyone... Okay, this is huge. There's an assumption that and people make this, and maybe some of you guys do too. I'm telling you this is wrong. Do your own research and hopefully gain your own reference experiences, and definitely read books and all that shit. But people assume that everyone is born good. Everyone is born with good consciousness, and then some of us get damaged and end up criminals and stuff, but everyone assumes that we're born with good consciousness. No. Nope. I would have made that assumption too if one hadn't entered within my family unit as a negative consciousness from a very early age, at a point where they grew up with the same reference experiences with me and ended up in a completely negative consciousness. So there was nothing in the surroundings, environment, that damaged that person to become like that. But from dot one, they just were. Okay, I will share one more thing with you I watched a few days ago on psychopaths, an ITV documentary. It was really good. And I'm glad ITV did this. And they called it Psychopaths too, because psychopaths love to lie and manipulate and convince us they're human, and they just love it. They're so delusional. They're funny to watch too, very entertaining, as long as they're not attacking you, right? Anyway, in this one, to give an example of what genetic born psychopaths, what they do and why they differ. This one, he at 13 years old, he had a sister, right? And his 4-year-old sister. He was 13, she was 4. and he's in prison now. But this is going to sound bad, but he stabbed 28 times his 4-year-old sister, right? And the reason why they know he's a psychopath, and I think it's brilliant ITV exposed him and put it as Psychopaths, as the title. And the reason why we know is because think about not just what it takes to do that at such a young age, but listen to all the things he did. Okay, so 13 years old, you seem to be getting on well with your sister. And the videos of them as kids playing around, and I saw he seemed like a normal kid, seemed to love his sister. Anyway, stabbed 28 times. Number one, it was planned and premeditated. Okay, it was planned. A 13-year-old, yeah, your 4-year-old sister. It was planned and premeditated long in advance. Okay, that's number one for psychopathy. Now, you could argue a 13-year-old that's messed up might, if they're extremely damaged, doubt it anyway. But if it's planned and premeditated, mate, there's something fucking wrong with you. You're a 13-year-old kid. What the fuck? Yeah, okay, that's number one. He got rid of the babysitter that day. He knew his mum was working and stabbed 28 times. That's fucked up. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to recall information here. Oh, yeah, another thing. This is bizarre. When he rang the 911, he rang 911 and called in and said, "Oh, my sister's. I think my sister's dying." And then the operator went and said, "Well, okay, you must do CPR immediately." And so the 13-year-old boy that just stabbed the psychopath, born that way, just stabbed his daughter and sister. He said, "Okay, I'll do it." So in front of the operator I was on the phone with, he went and did the 31 chest pumps. But what they found out later is that he was faking doing CPR. That is not normal behaviour. Yeah. I mean, it's not normal to fucking kill your sister at 30, at any age. If we're talking about a 13-year-old and a 4-year-old, what the fuck? But then you add on, it was pre-calculated, premeditated, and he's fucking faking shit for the phone call. And that's fucked up, man. That's really, really fucked up. And you know what's worse? At the beginning, they showed clips when he was like 11, 2 years before the murder, and when she was 2, they showed clips of him saying on camera with the mum filming, "I'm gonna kill you," to his sister. He said it once, and then another time, another recording after, he told his mum. He asked his mum what is the worst 3 words, and his mum said, he asked his mum what the worst 3 words are, and he said to his mum, I kill your family. 4 words, whatever, I kill your family. My point is that he was giving clues to what he was going to do. And that was a psychopath. And that was a fascinating study to me, in watching him interact with the interviewer, in how he was lying about being human, and pretending to be remorseful, and pretending that it was the most painful thing in the world, as a 13-year-old kid, and he didn't know what he was doing. No. The whole point of the documentary, there was real experts on psychopathy, by the way, listening whilst the interviewer was interviewing him. There was 2 experts on psychopathy listening, and they were interjecting with some great commentary, which I really found interesting. I love commentary and extra knowledge from people and give me on genetic-born psychopaths, because I think a lot of people don't have knowledge on genetic-born psychopaths. So when I do see it, I love it. And they were saying, he's faking it. There's no compassion. He can't hear the words. Try and imagine this. Try and imagine emotions, love. This is how I'm going to explain it in a really simple way. Okay, this is why genetic-born psychopaths are different to damaged psychopaths, which are really humans at heart. So the humans at heart can act psychopathic and do crazy shit, but the difference between genetic-born out the wound and compassion is this. A genetic-born psychopath, the rest of his life, by the way, they cannot be cured. Do not make the mistake and they can be cured. That is a foolish fucking mistake, man. Anyway, the genetic-born psychopath is colorblind, born colorblind, and you are asking them to see red. Red is being, in this instance, compassion, love, higher consciousness, growth, learning, creativity, fun, enjoyment, pleasure, company of strangers, company of friends. All those things are the colour red. But you're born colourblind, and nobody can change that for the rest of your life. That is exactly what it's like to be a genetic-born psychopath. So if you think you can reform someone, good luck. And more than that, you can't. That is the level of understanding that you need. They can't change. You're colorblind. You can't see red. You can't see the highs and lows of the human creation, the flow, the journey of growth that we are all undertaking here. You can't see the love, the compassion, the kindness, the shadow work that we have to face as human consciousness in a positive light. You can't see that because you're dead inside. And when I mean dead inside, that's my opinion. What I mean is you can't see the music. There's music playing, but you can't hear it. You know it's going on, but you can't hear it. You're colorblind, and the world is red. Yeah. So you have to survive in that world and get your fun. And they see it like a superpower, by the way. What they see, genetically born psychopaths see, they see themselves as having a superpower, whereas I look at it, and probably you too, hopefully, as a weakness, because they can't feel the beauty of love, the love of a sunrise, a sunset, the love of a relationship with somebody, the love of nature, the love of people, of conversation. They can't see it, but they don't care. They see it like a superpower. They think it's a good thing, and that's where the manipulation and the shit goes through. Because if you don't have compassion in your arsenal of brain power at all, if it can't be activated, guess what that means? You can be like a child. You can be narcissistic, and you can go on the rampage doing whatever the fuck you want without a care in the world. Sounds pretty cool, right? Our lower consciousness as humans is like, yeah, that sounds fucking cool. I can do whatever the fuck I want and not care. Yeah, that's our lower consciousness. That's not who we are. We are one consciousness, yeah? That does sound cool, by the way. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it, but I recognise that does sound cool. But also, look at the bad side. That's what they do. They can't feel what we feel. So they think it's a superpower that they have no compassion, which means they can just go around and destroy lives. And I don't even mean society level. I mean individual lives. Relationships are destroyed. People are destroyed. People kill themselves because of psychopathic relationships. They steal money from people. They fake cancer to gain money out of people. These are highly manipulative, dangerous, the most dangerous predators on the planet. Yeah, you want to know the real dangerous? You think it's humans, don't you? You think humans are the greatest danger on this planet. No. Even damaged humans that act psychopathic and have psychopathic tendencies are not the dangerous humans in the planet. The actual dangerous humans on the planet are genetic-born psychopaths. That's why it's a huge topic. They are the biggest danger. If they're working on the individual level and societal level, they are a huge danger. And if people don't talk about them, they're just going to keep going, man. This is why people have got to read this book, Showing Plumbing, Puzzling People. This will give you all the understanding you ever wanted to know about them. The genetic-born ones. Huge difference between genetic-born and damaged ones. Can't be fixed. No hope. What you can do is you can run the fuck away. If they're not in your family, you can run the fuck away, or pursue the law if you think there's a case that, where they can be brought to justice, because you can't let them get away with it. At the same time, sometimes it's good to run away and don't feed into their narcissism and their crazy games. Anyway, oh, Raquel, no way. Run Lawrence Kevin. Yeah. Maybe he's Raquel, maybe he's a damaged one. Yeah, not born that way. But what a coincidence, isn't it? Crazy. Your brother-in-law's Kevin. My brother's called Kevin, and yeah. One day I hope to see my brother in prison, and I will. That's my mission. That's not because of hurt or anything. It's because I believe in justice, and it's not just to me, but actual crimes against a lot of people. So that's my dream, and I will bring that to fruition somehow. And part of it is to elevate everyone to my understanding of psychopathy, or I'm going to be considered crazy by the police, by everybody. So I'm playing a long game and hoping that society changes where they're all at the level they understand genetic-born. Genetic-born, let me repeat, genetic-born psychopathy. Yeah, there's a huge difference between the two of them. Yeah, John, that's an interesting opinion. Possibly, I believe that too, but that's my belief, that they're soulless, they're demons, because if you look at their eyes, sometimes you'll see that there's no personality, there's no human consciousness there. It's just like empty. It's very scary to look into the eyes of them. Sometimes their eyes will reveal, not all the time, but sometimes you'll see in their eyes there's nothing there, like there's no personality. and there's nothing real. And you'll never forget that moment when you look into a psychopath's eyes and they reveal to you the what I call the soulless demon side. You'll never forget those moments, ever. You will see something that will wake you up. You can deny it, but you will never forget that experience, because you recognize, your higher consciousness knows that something's not right there. You're looking at something that's not the same consciousness as you. It's got a human body like you, but it's not born like you. So, yeah. Yeah, and we've all been damaged, fortunately. Thank God. Thank fucking God we've all been damaged. I love it. I love being damaged, man. It's my favourite thing in the world, to be me. I'm sure you guys are the same. Thank God, mate. A life of non-being damaged, and not understanding psychopathy, and not having these experiences, not forced to see my shadow. Psychopaths, what they'll do is, you know what I believe? I believe they were created, not many of them, they're not that many of them, yeah? There's 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, depends on what you want to believe. But they were created to force humanity to look at its shadow on an individual and collective level. Because now we live in a society where people are just so kind of soft and not looking at their shadows generally, that nature creator has put it that put an entity within the human body as a disguise to wake us up. Because this is what these creatures will do. They will target your shadow self, your weaknesses, and personality, your neediness. They will target it and go for it like a fucking shark. Yeah, they're psychological human predators, and that's what they're here for, in my opinion. In my opinion, they are here to serve positive consciousness. Now, that might just me like using them as a way to justify becoming a better person, but to me, that I've grown more from psychopathy within my family and people I've met than humans. And I love humans, because humans are my species. So I'm grateful. I'm still alive too. I'm also aware that at some point I could just get killed off, and, that would be sad. Because they don't care either. They don't all become murderers, but they can kill. The only reason why genetic born psychopaths don't kill, by the way, is because they're worried about getting caught, and it's too much trouble. And they're just worried about getting caught, and they just haven't figured out how to get rid of the body. They'd rather you kill themselves. They'd rather emotionally destroy you and then get you to kill yourself because you're emotionally destroyed, like being in a relationship with one, and then them ruining you, yeah? And then you're like, oh no, my life. And then you end up killing yourself, sadly, because, she thought there's the one, the psychopath was never human. You wonder, how can someone leave you so coldly? That person leaves you so coldly because they were never human and they were psychopath and they were playing a game with you, but you never figured that shit out. So yeah, where was I going with that one? Yeah. Trying to figure out where I was going with that. But yeah, I don't know, I don't remember. Anyway. I'm trying to get better at doing this one, because you guys are watching. But I need to, this is my mission, I need to get better at talking about it, and coming from a place of high elevation with it, as well as my experiences, sharing what I know on them. Because we all have different information, which is great. I'd love to meet more people that have experiences with genetic born psychopaths, by the way. If any of you guys do, I'd love to talk to you on Zoom. That would be great, and then we can share information. I love hearing stories about, psychopaths. It's one of my huge passions. Absolutely will be the rest of my life. My mission, to awareness, psychopath awareness, yeah. That'd be huge. Yeah, narcissists are really bad too. Let's not underestimate damaged humans. Humans that are damaged, that act psychopathic and narcissistic, can cause huge destruction too. Huge destruction. I'm not saying one's better or worse than the other. They are absolutely the pits as well. They fucking do their own damage. But they have capacity within them for remorse, and they have compassion, empathy somewhere in their brain. You might not see it ever, but it's there. Whereas a psychopath born that way just doesn't have it. There's the difference. You could argue why they came about, so I don't know. Yeah. Frank, mate, it's a huge topic, definitely. You know what? You can learn more about psychopathy, genetic born psychopathy, from having one enter your life or within your family and friends than anyone can from reading books. Don't get me wrong, you learn a lot from this book. By the way, everyone should read this book again. It's like 20 times. But no, from experience is how I learn, and I learned a lot from experience. But I needed connecting the dots for me to realise I wasn't fucking crazy in my mind. Because, you know what? No one told me about psychopathy at school. There's one thing that I think the most important thing. get this. I think the most important thing to teach people at school, if I'm being honest, beyond physical health, beyond how to be a better human, beyond mastery of emotional health, money management, or shit, there's one thing. If you had to nail me on one thing, absolutely, genetic born psychopathy. Teach every kid at school. And do you know what would happen then? They'd be out of business. And then they'd have to ostracize themselves, and therefore no one gets hurt. No humans get killed, no humans get damaged emotionally, scarred for life, etc., etc. That is the one. Because here's another thing with genetic born psychopathy. They rely on lack of knowledge on this subject. They rely on people like me shutting my mouth and not telling you guys, and books not being written about it. We need to talk about Kevin being laughed off as a piece. They rely on society not understanding that they are born non-human and born without compassion. They rely on misinformation, and they also rely on this confusion between sociopaths and psychopaths. They're the same fucking thing, mate. Psychopaths and sociopaths, same thing. Anyway, they rely on a lack of knowledge of what they are and what they do. So as soon as you start teaching people about them, spreading awareness, writing books, and teaching it in school, it's game over. Psychopathy loses, and then they become like a zoo piece. They become ostracized like they should. In my opinion, they should. I wouldn't say kill them off. I don't say kill them. I say keep them away from society. Let them have their own unit amongst their own kind where they can't cause damage to humans. So they're with their own people. I mean that. I don't mean to sound harsh, but these are not ever compassionate. They have no capacity for compassion and building humans up and empathy. And you could argue it's not their fault. They're just born that way. But that's why I say don't kill them. That's why I say push them off to an island and let them, or another city, and let them live, not with humans. Let them interact with their own species and watch and watch and watch. Because it's, what's that book? There's a book where their boys in an island go off and do crazy shit, and they end up killing each other and stuff. If the psychopaths are let with each other on an island, they'll end up killing each other because of out of boredom. They will. That's how crazy the shit I'm talking about is. This is crazy shit I'm talking about. These are crazy creatures, non-human, predators, like the great white shark. You have to think of the great white shark as a predator. We have predators. Humans have predators too. They're called the genetic born psychopaths. We are the prey. They eat us for breakfast. Yeah. They find it easier to eat the people with low self-esteem and lack of confidence. They find it harder to manipulate people that know themselves. Also, the people that themselves are on journeys understand now that when they meet a psychopath, they know that they're not human. Whereas people with low self-esteem and confidence don't. They don't know they're not dealing with a non-human, so it fucks them up. My God, I appreciate this conversation. We're going on for a long time. Yeah, Nita, man, it's important. Like, I also want to hear about people talking about narcissists and damaged psychopaths too. Like humans that are psychopath too. I find the whole psychopathy topic very interesting and fascinating. I really do. Yeah. Cheers, Kel, mate. Yeah, Nita, last one. I think so. I mean, you have to. They have a form of it, a form of human psychopathy. And think of this, even if they didn't, and they had compassion at the beginning, when they're doing the slaughtering of cows and calves and cutting them shit up, if you do something enough, you become desensitized to it, don't you? So therefore you develop psychopathy. If you didn't have it already, I mean the human version of psychopathy, not born like that, but you can develop a human version of psychopathy too, the damaged one. So when you're a slaughterman, of course, if you're killing every single day, the first time you might hurt your soul a little bit, but you get used to it, you become desensitized. Like criminals that kill 20 people, they eventually become desensitized to it, right? To some point, they lose the compassion somewhat. And yeah, of course, that's a form of psychopathy. I wonder actually if there's actually... no, it's too boring, that job. Killing animals is like a very minor thing for genetic born psychopaths. They'd rather be in positions of power or at an individual level destroying relationships. But yeah. Oh yeah, Karen, Lord of the Flies. There we go. So, conclusion. Psychopathy awareness. There is a difference between genetic born psychopaths and psychopaths. A huge fucking difference. Please understand that. Your experience will teach this. If you haven't experienced genetic born psychopaths, honest to God, you are lucky in a way. So well done. But you can gain knowledge too. That's why you should read the book when you talk about Kevin, watch the film when you talk about Kevin, which is brilliant too, great director, and definitely, for the last fucking time, read this book, Puzzling People, Labyrinth of the Psychopath, because quite frankly, this is the best book ever written, and that will ever be written on psychopathy. I know this for a fact. I know this for a fact. Not only is it the best book written currently on psychopathy, it's no book is going to surpass this. I will be so fucking surprised. It's gold dust of information. Every single little insight into their brain, how they think, how they see the world, how they feel. Your understanding of what you're dealing with is contained within the 200 pages of this book. The guy's a fucking genius. I love Thomas Sheridan for what he's done and given humanity for this book. And I think he's in the process of writing another one. He's written another one called Defeated Demons, which is also very good. I recommend it, but this is the one. So, on that note, thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions and queries, you want to message me privately, you don't want to say in public, please be happy to hear from you. And like I said, if any of you want to engage in conversation with me on Zoom about your situation with narcissists, damaged human psychopaths, or especially genetically born psychopaths, or what you think is a psychopath, but you're not sure, message me. We'll talk on Zoom, and I'd love to hear your story and see if I can help you, or even just learn from you your information. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and have a lovely day, and thank you very much. Peace.